Well, hey my friends, it's Catherine. Thank you so much for letting me slide last week while I was recovering from being sick and didn't share a video with you. Sorry about that. I am pretty close to recovered, but you can probably hear in my voice I'm still getting there, but I am back to stamping. So today's video we are going to use some of the Stamp of Approval Young at Heart collection, which is now officially sold out, and do some stenciling and some other fun techniques, gaining inspiration from some projects that have already been on my blog. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so you can get updates as to when I post new videos. The inspiration for my card today is coming from two places. One from a tutorial that Maureen did for my blog. She showed the faded stenciling technique, which is also a tutorial that, or a trends article that Christy did on Stamp Nation. And I made this card with some Stamp of Approval goodness back in December, and it never made it to my blog. So I have flowers from the Friendship collection, and I have sentiments from the Young at Heart collection, and I am going to change this up. I'm using the circle idea, but instead of adding it as a layer, I'm going to use it as a mask. So this is masking paper. I've used a large circle die, and drab nabbit, and I just cut that out. All right, we're going to see if I can make this work or if I'm going to have to cut another piece. I think I'm going to be okay. So now I have a mask on here so that when I add my stenciling, it will not be on the whole card. It'll just be inside that circle mask. I'm going to use the Harleen stencil by Winnie and Walter. This was for the Stamp of Approval box, the Young at Heart collection. I'm going to use Salty Ocean first. And since we're fading it out, we're going to go dark in the upper left-hand corner and fading to a light blue. And I am not going to re-ink. I'm just going to run this off until it's a light shade of blue. So I'm rubbing and rubbing up on this side and then bringing it out to a lighter color on the bottom. I have a napkin nearby, so I'm just going to wipe down my stencil before I move it. So I'm going to peel this up. You can see how it faded out. And I have seen this stencil used so many amazing ways, and this is one that I haven't used it yet, but I saw some of the gals that received the box doing this stencil pattern, and I think it's so amazing. So I'm going to try Seedless Preserves, and again doing the same thing, going darker up in the left corner and fading out to a lighter purple. You can also go lighter with your pressure, and that will help you get a lighter shade. If you feel like your color down here is too close to the color up on top, you can also re-ink and just go with the top. So let's peel this off and see what we've got. So we have an amazing stencil pattern masked right in the center of our project. Now when I'm masking off the center of a card like that, sometimes it's hard to get the mask centered, so I like to cut off of the edge. So I'm just figuring out where the end lines up, and then I'm going to cut it all the way, or cut it on both sides so that it has, does this make sense? I want the edge of the card to be the same amount from the circle on both sides. It looks pretty close, but I want it to be as exact as possible. So it's lining up right about there, the edge. So just a little sliver comes off. And then I'm going to take a little sliver off the bottom. Now instead of the flowers, I'm going to embellish this card with a present. So I've cut out the present already, and I'm going to use the stars from one of the coordinating sets that came in the Stamp of Approval collection, and we'll just cover that with stars. I cut out the black bow from the die set as well, and I'm just going to add that right to the present. And this card is coming together really quickly. We'll just add a little greeting right there, and I have a little bit of 3M mounting tape. We'll put that on the back of the present. And if you haven't checked out already, Stamp Nation has this whole stenciling class. It's a free perk for membership. We've covered tons of stenciling techniques and mediums, and there's just tons of inspiration over there. And it's been so much fun to see the members getting involved. They have made so many cards. I'll just add this to my card front. I didn't cut the black layer down, so it's going to cover the whole card front. I'm feeling like I'm kind of wanting to add something to this. Okay, so I just had this idea. I cut a 1-inch strip of cardstock and I cut a little flower out of it. This is out of the same die set that the present is from. And then I'm going to cut a little banner end. I'm going to grab a little piece of baker's twine. I've added dimensional adhesive to the back and I'm going to secure that. Securing it down will help me be able to tie it better. So just add that and then give it a little tie. And then I feel like embellishing this even more. So I've sponged some blue onto some cardstock and I cut it out with some little flowers, the same flower that I cut out the little flower from the banner. And then I want to add some sparkles. So here is the Spectrum Noir Sparkle Marker and I'm just going to take the top off, pull this yellow thing off. Let's see, we got to twist this back on. And then the cap comes off. There we go. And then you can shake it, you can roll it in your hand to get that sparkly goodness all mixed up. And then you see the little push right here. You're just going to push in until that sparkly liquid comes out. There we go. And then just paint your little flowers and add some sparkle and shine. And a lot of people have asked what the difference between these and Wink Stella are. They're very similar. I find these are just a teensy bit more sparkly in my opinion, and the shine, the sparkle to it is a little bit more silver as opposed to like a little bit of a gold tint. I don't know if you can see in the puddle right here, it looks very white. The sparkle shine looks very white. If you saw my very first video where I did the Wink Stella, I was surprised when it came out because it looked goldish to me, and so then I just learned that that's the way it is. We'll add another one over here. Just kind of peeking out from underneath that banner. And then I'm going to add just a couple little dots of glue. And then I have this confetti by Martha Stewart. I just picked this up at Michael's. And I'm grabbing my star confetti. And I'm just going to sprinkle some on here. And then we'll try to get it on the glue and just have a couple of these little stars hanging on. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to do so. If you're not a Stamp Nation member, now is a great time to check it out since we have that free stencil class going on. And if you have not gotten on the wait list yet for the Stamp of Approval box, this one is sold out. Our next one comes in April. Thanks for being here, you guys, and I'll see you again soon.